Hey folks, it's Sam once again, and welcome back to another review. This is thanks to a nice guy named Tony who had sent me this Blu-ray, and he wanted my thoughts on it. Detox with Sylvester Stallone, which is also known as ICU here in the US. Now this is a Blu-ray from overseas he had sent me, but thankfully it is one of those region-free Blu-rays, which not too many of them, but thankfully this is, so it did play in my Blu-ray player. But yeah, I know this is a film that had a couple original titles, The Outpost, Detox, which kept that for overseas. But in the US, where it went straight to DVD, it was ICU. Which I'm going to keep my DVD because it does have features, has some deleted scenes, and some little snippets of interviews with the cast. But I do like this cover better because that one, it's pretty much it's the same, but it's all in white. While this, I like the red in this. Thought the red in this looks a lot cooler. I don't know, Detox. I'm not sure which title I like. I might like this title better, Detox. It's just more simple, straightforward, as opposed to ICU. But I'm fine with either title. I'll probably still title this ICU because people in the US will recognize that more than this. Now, this is a Sylvester Stallone film, which I really enjoy. Is it perfect? No. It does have its problems, which I'll get to. But I still feel this is a pretty underrated Sylvester Stallone movie. And hey, I'm a big fan of Sylvester Stallone. There's a lot of films I love with him in it. Over the Top, Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, Cobra, as you can see over there. But I don't love every film he's been in. Bullet to the Head. Might as well be fucking dead instead of watching it. Escape Plan. The only escape is from the fucking movie when I was watching it, especially in the fucking theater, and I was pissed. Expendables 3 was so shitty. Film director like Staying Alive, which is something you did not do when you watched that film. So yeah, he's made some stinkers as well. Even though he's my favorite, he's made some stinkers. But this is not one of them. And this is the fucking movie that was supposed to be released in 1999 or 2000 by Universal. And I even think around that time, Ron Howard or his buddy was producing this, and their company Imagine was going to be part of it as well. I mean, hell, even on the back here it says has Universal, which you can't see because it's blurry. But no, didn't release in theaters. There's bad test screenings, and they changed some stuff. I think they spiffed out the how the killer got it at the end, which I like the way they do in this film. I don't know how it was originally, but I like the way it was done here. And you tell there's some problems with the editing, which I'll get to. But this film is not that fucking bad for it to was going to be released in 99, 2000. Then it got delayed. Then Universal said, fuck it. We don't want any more. They threw it away. Another company got it. And released it straight to video in 2002. This isn't that fucking bad to not get a theatrical release and to be strictly a direct-to-DVD film. And I remember when this first came out. I had seen a trailer. I don't know where I had seen the trailer. And I was really excited for it. I'm like, wow, this is the closest we'll ever get to Stallone in a horror movie. You say that that film has little slasher elements to it, but it's still a strictly action film. Like, this is the closest you ever get to Stallone being in a horror movie. That's why I was so excited. I love horror films, and I love Stallone. Those two together, that's great. And that is a reason why I do enjoy this film. And I remember the first or second day it came out, walked all the way to Best Buy, bought it like the first or second day, and it was the DVD. This is ICU, which I have in my other room. And watching the film and really enjoying it. Sylvester Stallone, I mean, he does a great job. I would say this is his most underrated acting performance. The most underrated acting performance from Stallone is in this movie. And I'll say that till the cows come home. You'll hear me say that quite a few times during this. It's the most underrated performance of Stallone's career. I do give it that much praise. I think he deserves it, considering how much shit this film got, how much crap this film got. It's a shame that Stallone's performance. He did a really great job here as Jack Malloy, an FBI agent who's looking to this killer who is killing cops. One thing leads to another. His woman gets killed. He chases him down. Doesn't quite get him. And gets drunk. Gets suicidal. To the point that he has to be sent off to this outpost in the middle of nowhere for therapy, where a bunch of other cops are out there for therapy, and then a killer kills the cops one by one. I like that idea. I like that Stallone was in a film of that kind of idea, and that was a great type of character that I had never seen Stallone play before. So it was really cool to see that. Now, it's directed by Jim Gillespie, which I think is one of the problems with this film, because it's the same guy who directed I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I reviewed I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Know What You Did Last Summer was okay at best, but I don't understand why the fuck you would get the guy who did I Know What You Did Last Summer to do this. I don't know why. I mean, I'm sure there's quite a few other directors you could have gotten than the guy who fucking did I Know What You Did Last Summer. And I know the guy is not a big fan of gore and blood either, because the DVD of I Know What You Did Last Summer, that's kind of what he said on the interview for that DVD. Like, why'd you get that guy? But, hell, Rennie Harlan should have done this with Stallone, not Driven, because I don't like Driven. Because Rennie Harlan did another film called Mindhunters, which has some kind of similarities to this film. And I enjoy Mindhunters. So hell, take Mindhunters that Rennie Harlan did and slap it with this and let Stallone and Rennie Harlan get together for this and not Mindhunters. I like Mindhunters. I meant not Driven. But, I mean, hell, even this says medium level violence. But I'm going over the place. What I enjoy about this film is, first off, the cast. I mean, you got Sylvester Stallone, like I've said a couple times, but you also have Robert Patrick, you have Charles S. Dutton, you have Tom Berenger, you have Robert Prosty, who's in Christine, many other films, you have Dina Meyer, you have Courtney B. Vance, you have Jeffrey Wright, you have Kristofferson, you have a shitload of good actors in this flick. I really like the score. Now, I'm not sure who did the score, because it says here John Powell, but there's a lot of stuff, well, not a lot of stuff, but there's some stuff you can find on the internet that there was some troubles dealing with the score, that he had done a score a couple times and they were rejected, and that maybe some of his scores in there, but then other people were brought in to get their pieces of music. So I don't know, it says John Powell, but I don't know who did the music that I liked, because I specifically love the music where it's the soft piano music where it goes da 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 da. Especially when you hear it at the very last scene, last shot of the movie. That's definitely my favorite piece of score. Find a very beautiful piece of score. Love it. And I just love Stallone's character in this film. That's a definite plus. I like the location of the film. Yeah, it may seem weird. Why the fuck are you taking these people in the middle of nowhere? Seems like a depressing place to take these people, but Hospitals are depressing as well if you think about it. Unless you don't have a fucking hospital with a bunch of rainbows and shit. But hell, for some people, they'd be depressed by that too. So no matter where you go, it's gonna be depressing if you're fucked up. No matter where you go, you're fucked up. But anyway, like the way the film begins, where the credits are pretty much like Seven. You know, that kind of. If you've seen the credits for Seven, it's kind of like that. The opening credits. And Sylvester Stallone, again, seems like just a very cool, natural, typical guy. He gets this engagement ring for his fiancée, or soon-to-be fiancée, and he's looking at it and he's going, well, you kidding me, right, with this price? When you throw in a car, man, yeah, throw in a hand. And the guy's like, oh, I'll take it back. No, it's alright, it's alright. And then even later when he's talking with these cops, and I'm like, well, what the fuck? You don't catch this guy? I bet if it was FBI agents being killed instead, you guys would be doing better. And Stallone kind of takes offense to that. It's like, hey, we're doing our best. Well, believe me, I wish I could tell you that we got this guy set up for a toe tag, but you know, we're doing what we can. I like that the cop says, after Sly goes, are you done? And the cop, his buddy who's a cop says, oh yeah, everyone knows I'm an asshole. I thought Stallone has some nice little scenes with his woman. Some nice bits of conversation. And, you know, he has this little monkey type of thing with the symbols. And he's getting ready to go to bed, and then he throws them. Never mind, I work alone. I mean, I thought that he had some nice little bit of chemistry for the little scenes he had with his wife. I thought they worked out fine. It worked just enough for what's going to happen. And then I like the idea that the killer, when people look through the peephole, the killer actually has a drill that drills right through the peephole, the fuck up people. I like that idea. He finds his buddy, you know, he gets called in. Stallone finds his cop buddy dead. I like the way it looks, where the guy's hung with his ankles and wrists tied up, and he's hanging. He's got a big nightstick shoved right in his mouth, down his throat. Like that effect. Pretty decent effect. Like the idea behind it. And this whole... When I'm talking about the editing is a problem, not with the first act of the film. There's really no problems I have with the first act of the film. It's a nice build-up. Some nice... You care about Stallone's character. It has some nice levity with humor. Dina Meyer as his wife, she does fine. I think that's, yeah, that is Dina Meyer. She does fine as Stallone's fiance. Again, all works out fine. And then Stallone gets a phone call. It's the killer saying about, you know, what's going to happen. It's, oh my god, he's in my house. Rushes over there. It's too late. Finds his lady dead. And Stallone gave a really great performance. Just, you know, just breaking down. But it wasn't over the top, so it wasn't silly. It wasn't laughable. It was believable. Just seeing his wife hung there. Blood coming out of her eyes. Really effective sequence. And the cop's like, oh, we got the killer cornered. And Stallone remembers what the guy said, you know, I see you, do you see me? Able to follow the killer, thinks he has him, shoots. Like the intensity that Stallone's bringing to it. It just rushes. I just like the way it's shot, where it just like that intensity to it. It was believable, especially what happened with his character. And when he looks, it looks like one of the SWAT guys has been tied up and hung there as if he was a mannequin, and that's who Stallone was shooting into. It was like the guy was tied up, and whether he was dead before or not, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't, but... And I just really like this idea that Stallone has never played a character like this before. Charles Dutton does a great job as Stallone's pal. Charles Dutton coming in, Stallone's character. He's drinking. He even fires his gun right in the bar. And this is right after Charles Dutton goes, well, why don't you take this gun and shoot yourself in the head instead of pissing on her memory? And he does that. And he goes right into this house and he thinks of his woman. And that's where that piece of music that I really love kicks in, that piano type music. And slits his wrist. I'm like, wow, this is, again, being a big fan of Stallone, I had never seen him play a drunk, alcoholic, suicidal type of character. And Stallone played off very well. And when he comes in, the next scene is pretty much Charles Dutton taking him into this outpost, which I like the location. And I think I liked it because it reminds me of John Carpenter's The Thing. Now, yeah, is this film as good as John Carpenter's The Thing? No. If you had aliens and shit, and effects like The Thing, then maybe, yeah, that'd be a great twist. But that's not what this movie is. But I like the sort of isolation and the cold. It reminded me of John Carpenter's The Thing in that aspect. I thought that was a good location to see Stallone in. Again, being a big fan of Stallone, it's nice to see your favorite actor, or at least one of your favorites, get into this kind of genre, this kind of location environment. And Stallone was like got bags under his eyes, and just realize he's not in the best state, so to speak. And I will say this is when the editing, really the clunky editing takes into effect, and that's really one of the big problems with the film. The biggest problem, I would say, is two things. Because I enjoy the cast, Stallone, location, and other stuff that I'll get to, but the clunky editing and the kills. And the kills I blame on Jim Gillespie, because the kills that I know he did last summer wasn't much either. They were cutaways, and they weren't much of shit. I mean, hell, what was that character's name? That thing Johnny Galecki played. That hook that he got, and I know he did last summer, that was shot afterward. That wasn't shot during. That was shot afterward, after pretty much the film was done. It's like, okay, we need something. We need a big scene here. But the kills, it doesn't have much of a body count. It needed a bigger body count because I feel too many characters are left alive by the end of the film. I think you need a bit more of a body count. And the kills are not much of a visual impact. They're cutaways, or, oh, we found him, this person's dead. And I think it needed to be a bloodier film, a more visceral film, more hard-hitting film in that aspect with the kills. I do feel it needed that. And yeah, I think the problem with that is Jim Gillespie, because he's not the type that does that kind of stuff. And the second thing is the clunky editing. When Stallone gets to the outpost, that's where you see some of the clunky editing. And two specific examples. One, you have scenes that end abruptly. For example, Charles is done. He's going to stay in the area while see if his buddy works out all right in this outpost, this Detox center that Kristofferson is leading the therapy for all these other cops who have problems at that facility. And so Charles is done is over here, like at a cabin or something. And then there's smoke, and he runs off, and he's talking. And like in the middle of him talking, it fades out, like abruptly. Like he's almost in the middle of talking, and it abruptly fades out to another scene. And it's like, wait, was there something else here? Is there something missing? And another sequence, which I thought actually on the deleted scenes on the DVD actually worked better than what we see in the film, is this nightmare sequence, which Stallone has. And the sequence is him waking up in his room. There's no one in there. Oh, there's a door. He's running off quickly, saying, no, 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 pounding on the door, trying to get the door open. And he turns around and thinks he gets it, but he wakes up. The way he's done the movie isn't that effective because it blindly tells you that it's a dream from the start. See, in order to make that work, you should make it look like, oh, this is really happening, and then, oh, it was a dream. No, from the start we realize it's a dream in the movie. But if you look at the deleted scene, that scene plays off as he wakes up, you think it's real, and then at the end you find out that it was a dream because he wakes up. But because you're still sleeping, you have some weird like color filters, and again, I'm wondering because it got delayed, that was one of those things that was fucked with in the editing room. And to be honest, the way it was in the deleted scene is how it should have played off. Hell, how it was also how it was played off in the trailer. Because you watch the trailer of this film, you see Stallone running and slamming on the door. Like, no, no. That's how it is in the deleted scene. That's how it should have been. But the editing, the way it is in the movie, just a bit fucked up. And that's what I mean. The editing is a big problem. It seems like a fucking monkey edited this. Maybe it was Jim Gillespie. He's a fucking monkey, in my opinion. I mean, the actual editor's name is Steve Merkovich. But I don't know if it was his fault or if he was told to do that by a studio. Or he was told to do that by Jim Gillespie because he's a fucking idiot. I don't know. I don't think Jim Gillespie was the right choice for a director, and I think the editing could have been cleaned up quite a bit. Hell, I mean the deleted scenes, they're not much, but I think they should be put back in the film that's on that DVD just to have certain scenes flesh out a little bit so they don't end so abrupt. It's like, well, okay, I guess this scene's over. So that is the problem with the film. But the reason I do like the film is I love Stallone's performance. Robert Patrick is this asshole who's giving people shit and gives Stallone shit at one point, but that bites Robert Patrick on the ass because he tries to do it again, and then Stallone comes up and goes, "If you ever speak to my wife again, I'll fucking kill you." Like, it's not the exact dialogue, but it's like, "I will kill you." Such intensity on Stallone that it's like, okay, Stallone is meaning business. He's ready to draw first blood and last blood. Don't fuck with him, Mr. T-1000. And Robert Patrick backs off. He's like, okay, I'm not going to fuck with Rambo. This is Rambo right now. He got into John Rambo phase. Fuck off, Robert Patrick. So I like that aspect. I like when they're looking a little bit into the mystery of what's happening. For example, Stallone is looking at the body and finds some stuff on it and reminds them, it's him. It's him. And when it deals with Stallone looking into this cell and finding some stuff, remembering what's happening, I like that aspect. And just certain scenes that I enjoy, for example, when Stallone's out looking in the cold and finds this guy hanging off a tree, just hanging there dead, and Stallone, as I realized, oh, cool, he's in this kind of slasher movie. Tame slasher movie, which it should not be that tame. But it's just cool to see him in that sort of mano-a-mano with this killer. I mean, it's the closest Stallone would ever get to a slasher movie, you know, aside from that movie. I mean, I just say I like that movie more than this, but I just don't think this film was that fucking bad to get delayed for years and then dumped to direct-to-video land. Fucking bullet to the head should have been direct-to-video if that was the case. But that got in theaters. But not this. And I really enjoy the third act. You know, there are a couple people getting knocked off. I mean, Kristofferson, he gets an axe to him, but it cuts away and you only realize what happened because they find his dead body and you see real quick light. Only a few seconds at most that, oh, there's an axe in Kristofferson's head. But it's definitely not a gory film, I would say. But it kept at a decent pace. I never got bored. I was, I liked the location, the facility, the way the set looked. I liked the cast itself. A lot of actors I recognize. I'm like, oh, that's a good actor. That's a good actor. So again, Stallone's performance was bang on. I do enjoy the score. Pretty much the whole story I enjoy. Yeah, I don't know specifically who did it, because apparently it was more than one person who worked on this, even though there's one credited. But I do like the score. But I mean, you only need a couple kills. Sean Patrick Flannery's in this, and you just find out after the fact that he died, because of X, Y, and Z reasons. Robert Patrick's death. Did you find out that even though he talks the talk, he doesn't walk the walk, because he's actually pretty much a coward. And Stallone finds his dead body. Robert Prosty, his death is pretty lame because he gets electrocuted, but you see it from pretty far away. And yeah, I think the kills need a bit to be more visceral. Like Rennie Harlan's Mindhunters. Mindhunters, I think, is a better directed movie. Mindhunters. So that's why I think Rennie Harlan would have been a much better director than Jim Gillespie. And it might have been around after. Mindhunters, I think, was after this film. And that was another film that got delayed, and then pretty much dumped to direct-to-video land. So I don't know what the fuck's the deal, and I enjoy both of them. Both underrated movies. This and Mindhunters with Rennie Harlan directed. Put those two together, we'd have a great movie. Which is one of the few problems with Mindhunters is I don't mind the cast, but there's not a Stallone type of guy in there. I mean, I don't mind LL Cool J, but if that was Stallone and this character in Mindhunters, you'd have one of my favorite Stallone movies. But I still really do like this film. The finale is a satisfying finale. It really is. Because he gets in a fisticuff with the killer. You find out who the killer is, which I'm not going to give away. But you find out who the killer is, and some nice back and forth, and Stallone gets stabbed in the arm, and throughout the film, the killer kept saying, "I see you, do you see me?" But I love that Stallone lifts his ass up, "I see you, you see this," and just slams his ass. Well, at first he gets him impaled. Actually, this is better. He gets the killer impaled, but the killer's still talking shit. So then he takes the guy off and lifts him up. "You see this?" Slams his ass right back to get impaled again and fully dead. Which I thought that was a satisfying kill for the killer. That was a cheer moment. And, you know, has this necklace that his wife well, it's not a necklace, but it has his ring. And throughout the film, he looks at this ring that he was doing engagement ring that he was going to give to his fiance. And I thought the last scene was beautiful. I'll say that right off the bat. It was beautiful when he's wounded. Great music is picking up. He has the necklace that he put the ring on. He puts it on there to let her go. He's walking away with this girl who was at the facility that he saved. And they walk off in the distance, and the camera's on the ring. And you have his wife, sort of, you see a little bit of her face. And that beautiful music. I'm doing a shitty job of it right now. If I remember correctly, I actually uploaded that piece of music on another channel. I'll put it down below, so for people who want to give it a listen to. I thought that was a great way to end the film, and that's why, I mean, I still enjoy the film. It has its problems. It needed more visceral kills, bigger body count, and it needed a retooling of the editing. But to me, there's a lot to like in this film. Seeing Stallone in this kind of environment, close as you get in a slasher film, in an environment in the cold, in the middle of nowhere, in an outpost, a la John Carver's The Thing, you know, dead bodies going around, him looking for a killer. Love the idea that Stallone's in that kind of film. Satisfying finish against the villain. Comeuppance of the villain. Love the score. Great cast. I mean, again, you have Kris Kristofferson and Tom Berenger and Jeffrey Wright and Courtney B. Vance, and Charles S. Dutton does a great job as Stallone's buddy. Stallone, again, this is Stallone's most underrated performance. His most underrated performance is in this movie. It was great to see him play this character. This is his most underrated character, up there with his characters and Over the Top and Lock Up. Because those are characters you don't. No one talks about Lincoln Hawk. No one talks about. God, I forgot his character. Frank Leone. Is it Frank Leone in Lock Up? I forgot his fucking character name. See, even I forgot. I haven't seen Lock Up in a while, but I love Lock Up to death. But I really do enjoy this film. So I can say when I first heard about this back in 2002, I think I was in Texas at that time. And when I picked this up at Best Buy and came home, that DVD I have over there, I was not disappointed. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it has its wrinkles, but fuck you, Universal, for abandoning this film and shitting on it and throwing it in the fucking garbage heap. Didn't you fucking release Battleship? Universal? Did you do that movie, Battleship? Battleshits? Battle fucking goddamn son of a bitch. But this is so bad. Fuck you. Fuck you, Unifocal. That's a new name. Universal or Unifocal? Unifuck yourself. And yet overseas it calls itself Universal Release. But, oh, in the US, shh, don't say it's from us. Say it's from DE, whatever the hell it was. But, yeah, I enjoy this film a lot. Underrated film. And deserves more looks. At least if you're a Stallone fan, it's worth it for his performance alone. But again, closest he'll get to a horror film, slasher film, thought that was pretty cool. But fuck Jim Gillespie because he's a shitty director. Should have been Rennie Harlan. Anyway, yeah, check out Mindhunters as well. LL Cool J, Christian Slater has a small role. That's the one where you have FBI profilers who go on this island and they're in a training to look for a killer. Val Kilmer's in it. But then the FBI profilers get killed off one by one as they're stuck on this island. That's a really cool movie too. And very well directed by Rennie Harlan. That's a cool little movie that no one talks about. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you later. Later.